Dear students, in this lecture we will discuss about the application of Gauss law. We already know the electric flux is equal to phi E is equal to integration of E vector dot ds vector or integration of E ds cos theta, and instead of electric flux phi E we can write phi E is equal to q by epsilon r for a closed surface. If we place a charge inside a closed surface, then according to Gauss law, that electric flux produced due to this charge is q by epsilon r, that is closed integral E ds cos theta. Here this area can be calculated by geometry, but q is different for different charge distribution. We have to imagine a Gaussian surface which must be passed through the observation point where we have to calculate electric field. Using Gauss law, we have to calculate electric field here. The imaginary Gaussian surface also be symmetry, so that everywhere on a closed surface the angle between E vector and ds vector must be same. That means theta is same. Theta should be same for a single closed surface. If theta will different, then we can divide that surface into different parts. Earlier we have calculated electric field by calculus method, but here we will calculate electric field by using Gauss theorem by these 4 steps. For point charge, we have calculated electric field using Gauss law. Today, using Gauss law, we will calculate electric field for a line charge distribution and surface charge distribution. So, first of all, electric field intensity due to a line charge. So, here is a line charge distribution. The charges are distributed in a line, and each charge will produce an electric field. If we take a point charge here, if you take a test charge here, and we have to calculate net electric field due to all these positive charge. And so to do so, we have to first imagine a Gaussian surface. So let's imagine a Gaussian surface in the shape of a closed cylinder having charged line as axis, so that this imaginary surface, Gaussian surface, must pass this observation point. And if this is the radius, and we have to, for symmetry, we have to also draw an line here at the same radius, and it will be a closed cylinder where there are 3 surfaces. This is a curved surface, and this is upper surface, and this is lower surface. If we consider each surface separately, for the curved surface, the angle between E and ds vector is always 0. The direction of electric field and the direction of the area vector is always same for a curved surface, because electric field are always directed outward, and area vector is also directed outward and perpendicular to the surface. So here the theta is 0. It is same for everywhere on this curved surface. And if this upper surface is considered as S2 and the lower surface is S3, then everywhere at this surface S2, the angle between E vector and ds vector is 90 degree. Here, if we consider a small area, then this is the direction of electric field outward, and here is the direction of area vector. It is also outward and perpendicular to this area. So the angle between them is 90 degree. So in the step 2, we have to consider electric flux phi E is equal to closed integral E ds, and since there are 3 closed surface, we have to consider ds1, ds2 and ds3, and integration of E vector dot ds1 vector plus integration of E vector dot ds2 vector plus integration of E vector dot ds3 vector. and the angle between E vector dash and ds vector in the case of curved surface is 0, and here this is 90 degree and this is 90 degree first for S2 and S3 surface. So it will be E integration of ds that is ds1, the surface is taken as 1, so ds1 plus cos 90 0, so this is 0 and this is 0. So the total electric flux phi E is equal to E into the integration of ds1, this is the area, that is 2 pi rh, the area of a cylinder, that is 2 pi rh. Since this is the length of the cylinder L, so E into 2 pi rl. In step 3, we have to calculate the electric charge present over here for a line charge, and we know for a line charge linear charge density lambda is equal to q by L. So the charge q is equal to lambda into L. And finally in the step 4, we have to use the Gauss theorem. First we have to write that Gauss theorem and putting the values. So instead of closed integral EDS, in step number 2 we have already found that E closed integral EDS is equal to E into 2 pi RL. So putting the values, that is E into 2 pi RL is equal to, instead of Q in the step 3 we have already calculated that Q is equal to lambda L for a line charge distribution. So instead of Q we can write lambda L divided by epsilon r. So by cancelling L and L, we can calculate finally the electric field for a line charge distribution, that is lambda divided by 2 pi epsilon r. And it is already clear that E is inversely proportional to radius, and if this radius of the observation point increase, the electric field will decrease. Now we have to calculate electric field at this observation point P due to a uniformly charged infinite plane sheet. So for this we have to consider first Gaussian surface in the step 1, which is in the shape of a cylinder whose axis this axis of the cylinder is normal to the plane containing charge, and it is extended to a radius r on both sides for the symmetric. And here also there are 3 surfaces. One is a curved surface, and here is the left one surface, and here this is right surface, and this is left, and everywhere the 3 surface is closed. And here in the left, suppose this is the right plane. In the right plane, the angle between electric field is always in this direction from left to right, and on the opposite side from right to left. So electric field is outward in the direction, in this direction, and here for the right plane the area vector is also in the same direction. So theta is equal to 0, and here electric field is in this direction and area vector is also in the same direction. This is also theta, here is also theta is equal to 0. If we consider this electric field as positive and this area vector is as positive, then we can also consider this area electric field is negative and this area vector is also in the negative direction, and minus E into minus ds, that is also plus EDS. So in the formula there will be no change, that is EDS cos theta, and here this theta is 0, here also theta is equal to 0, but in the curved surface electric field is radially outward and area vector is always perpendicular to the surface and outward in the outward direction. So theta is 90 degree everywhere in the curved surface. So finally in the step 2 we have to calculate closed integral EDS, that is electric flux, that is here since there are 3 surfaces, for curved surfaces theta is equal to 90 degree, for left plane theta is equal to 0, for right plane theta is equal to 0. So it will be 0 plus E ds, this area is suppose A. So this area is A. So this will be EA plus E into integration of ds. If this area is also A, so it will be A EA. So the finally closed integral EDS is equal to 2EA. And we know for a surface or for a infinite plane sheet, the surface or areal charge distribution sigma is equal to charge per unit area. So Q is equal to sigma into A. Finally, we have to calculate, we have to apply Gauss theorem, that is closed integral EDS is equal to Q by epsilon naught. Instead of closed integral EDS, the value of this flux is 2EA is equal to, instead of charge, we can write sigma A divided by epsilon naught. So finally, E is equal to sigma by 2 epsilon naught. It is for one surface. If this sheet containing two surface, then E is equal to sigma divided by 2 epsilon naught plus sigma by 2 epsilon naught, that is 2 sigma by 2 epsilon naught, that is sigma by epsilon naught. If this sheet containing two surfaces, electric field will be only sigma by epsilon naught. If this is one surfaces, then electric field is equal to sigma by 2 epsilon naught. And electric field is independent of R. There is no, here no radius is depend on electric field. And the direction of electric field is normal to the sheet. So finally, using Gauss law, we have already calculated electric field due to a point charge and electric field due to a line charge distribution, or the charge are distributed in a line, and we have also calculated electric field due to a uniformly charged infinite plane sheet. In the next lecture, we will calculate using Gauss law electric field due to a uniformly charged thin spherical cell. Thank you.